Hey, this is Mighty Manfred, and today I am having a coolest conversation with Charlotte Kemp Mull, one
Hi.
half of Ghost of a Saber-Toothed Tiger. Hi, Charlotte.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, today you were in Atlanta. Is that right? I'm talking to you in Atlanta,
That's right, my hometown.
your hometown. Now, you've been in New York for a long while as well. What took you from Atlanta to New York?
Oh, it's kind of embarrassing. Modeling.
Why is that embarrassing?
It's my dark past. Yeah, no, I got kind of kidnapped for modeling at quite a young age and have been living alone in New York since then. But I had a wonderful childhood in Atlanta, Georgia, Avondale Estates.
Avondale Estates, is that what you said?
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah, I used to go to the swimming pool there when I was a kid.
Yeah. And the park.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, downtown, in fact, now in Avondale is Palookaville. Have you eaten there?
No.
Well, I wanted to go to Palookaville. I think it's right in the little, the folks won't know what we're talking about, but Avondale Estates has got kind of, it's not like a German village necessarily, but it's
It's
got kind of
Tudor
this
style.
Tudor style. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so down in there, I think next to where there used to be the Cinnamon Draft House is Palookaville, which is all sorts of fried food, but I know it's an oxymoron, but it's like healthy fried food.
Huh? That's ridiculous.
Well, you got to check that out. Anyway, so you started doing the modeling thing, and it's something that you still currently do on the side. Is that right?
Yeah, I still have a contract with Maybelline and I do commercials with them and a few other things, but mostly my energy is put towards touring the Ghost of a Saber-Toothed Tiger with Sean.
Right.
And
In fact, I was thinking you sort of use some of that modeling money, let's say, to fund some of the musical projects that you do, the records and so forth, right?
yeah, exactly.
So the name of the band, the Ghost of Saber-Toothed Tiger, did that come from a short story that you'd written?
It was a play, actually. When I was 7 years old, I wrote a play and hand-bound and laminated it and illustrated it. And it's about this ghost of a saber-toothed tiger that sort of gets loose on the town, and then these detectives have to catch it, but it's invisible, so it's really hard to catch. And then it has a happy ending.
Have you
But
ever been to the La Brea Tar Pits in Los Angeles?
yeah, in fact, that probably inspired it because I probably went there when I was a kid on a field trip or something. But Sean found this play in my apartment and was laughing so hard at it. And, he thought it was the most hilarious name for a band. He was like, "Oh, you should start a band called Ghost of a Saber-Tooth Tiger." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So it kind of started as a joke, and now it's just kind of stuck. And now we do the acronym, which is GOASTT, which also says ghost.
Right. So when people are talking about the band, it's just Ghost, right?
Yeah, ghost, the acronym.
So did you figure yourself a writer early on, or what's your trying to get at what your contribution is to the band? Is it from a lyrical end, or how does your musical abilities play into the creative process with you and
Oh,
Sean?
Sean and I write all the music and the lyrics together. I grew up playing music, but I never thought it could be a professional situation. Like, on all my modeling trips, I'd always bring a guitar with me, and I played a little piano. And I was always writing songs, but I never thought I would take it seriously. I still don't take it seriously, I suppose. but it's more of a passion and a hobby than like a full-on profession right now. But hopefully it'll become self-sustainable one day.
So
And
you guys have been together performing for several years, at least since 2008.
yeah.
And it started off more as a
It's
duo. Now it's become more of a band. How did this evolve from like a duo thing into a band?
Yeah, it started off acoustic. It was more folk. And, because we were writing songs in the bedroom on acoustic guitar, and that's sort of how it started. And our first record and our first tour was acoustically, and it was really funny because Sean was playing drums and guitar and singing at the same time, and he was playing drums with his feet and guitar with his hands, and then I was playing a bunch of weird instruments like accordion and bass and melodica and glockenspiel. That tour was really funny. It was just us. There were no other musicians. Then eventually we got tired of playing all the instruments ourselves and wanted to rock out with a real band, and kind of developed a Pinocchio complex about wanting to be a real band. And around that time I was getting really into psychedelic rock, and I was kind of like, like almost like a typical college student going through that phase of like discovering Pink Floyd and pot and Led Zeppelin.
So that's kind of the genesis to bring us to the Midnight Sun, right? The new
Yeah,
album.
yeah, and then our songs started evolving more into sort of epic psychedelic sweets.
Well, so most of the material on the album you guys co-wrote, except for Golden Earrings. So
Yeah.
what possessed you to do that song? How did you come to that song, and why did you do it?
Well, do you know the original?
Well, the Peggy Lee. I mean, I know Peggy Lee does it. Oh no, it's also the movie Golden Earrings. Have you ever seen the Marlene Dietrich film?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's some really old 1950s versions of it that are beautiful, but then there's this one obscure 60s band called Gandalf that covered it, and that was sort of more the vibe we were going for, was the Gandalf version.
Right. Oh, Willie Nelson, by the way, also does a song. Although I have to, and his is fine, but it's very, very straight. Let's say, as opposed to Gandalf's version or the original. Even it doesn't have quite, at least to me, the same atmosphere.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we love Willie Nelson. I mean, he's amazing. I covered his song "Crazy" once, but yeah, that we're gonna do like one cover song per record, I guess. We just covered Syd Barrett's "Long Gone" from one of Syd Barrett's solo records, but we sort of made it sound more like a Hendrix song because it's originally an acoustic folk song, and we made it like more psychedelic rock with like a manic depression feel, and Dave Fridman just mixed that, and we're putting that out on vinyl only.
Oh, excellent. Well, I heard that Sean was reading about some biography of Syd Barrett. Are you familiar with Rocky Erickson at all?
Oh yeah, he's 13th
Well,
floor.
here I have got a question for you. Now, some people will phrase it this way, and I want to see whether you agree with that phrasing or just answer the question. So, is Rocky Erickson the American answer to Syd Barrett?
Yeah, I mean he's compared a lot to Syd Barrett. I think so. They're both kind of visionaries that went insane, either from too many psychedelics or schizophrenia or both. But yeah, they're characters. They're legends. But Rocky Erickson, he's still working and making music, right?
That is right. Yeah, he's still making music. I saw him perform at an ice cream social, and it was only for children. Adults were only admitted if you had brought a child with you.
That's amazing.
And then there was a question and answer period, but only kids could ask the questions.
That's really cool of him. That's like Laurie Anderson's concert for only dogs.
Tell me about that.
Well, I didn't go. I'm not a dog. But I was actually really disappointed because I thought she was only going to play music in a frequency that only dogs could hear. I thought she was only going to play like really high frequency synths. But then I think her and her team got worried that it was going to start a dog riot if they did that. So they just played normal music.
Well, that's exactly what I was thinking when you mentioned a concert for dogs. It would be if humans were there, they wouldn't have heard anything.
Yeah.
But pretty cool. So I was also reading when you first met Sean, you weren't really particularly familiar with a lot of his father's music. And the comment was, or his quote was, she had never heard Strawberry Fields Forever. So have you since heard Strawberry Fields Forever?
Yeah, he's played me a lot of. There's still a lot of Beatles songs I don't know.
Charlotte, thank you so much for having the coolest conversation with me today.
Thanks for having me, Manfred.
And we're going to go out on another track from Midnight Sun, the new album. This one right here called Too Deep.